All right, good morning, everybody. It is AI Friday. How's everybody doing today? Today, we are going to talk about, man, what's wrong with my microphone here? Today, we're going to talk about, it's AI Friday. We're going to talk about how different generations are using AI. I thought Sam Altman did a really good, what is going on? All right, let's see how this goes. All right, that's better on my end. I'm not sure if it's better on your end or not. All right, open it. AI Friday. All right, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence this Friday here. All right, now we're going live here on Insta. Okay, still go my generation, going through my technology things. AI Friday. We're going to talk about how different generations are using AI. I thought Sam Altman did a very good interview this past week. Kind of piqued my attention. As one of the old curmudgeons in the room, I'm always interested in what the younger crowd is doing with the with AI. And Sam gave a little presentation on it. I thought I'd talk about it today. I hope everybody is ready for the weekend. I had a long week. I had a really long week, man. My kids have been sick all week. Man, we've been in and out of hospitals last weekend. It has been a lot. So everybody's healthy. Everybody's good. Kids still staying home from school. They got a little flu, but whatever. All right, we're gonna roll. Okay, when the iPhone came out, there was a rate of adoption based on your age, and so the younger you were, the more apt you were to use the iPhone to its full potential. And it is, it AI now is a little bit akin to that iPhone situation where the technology is introduced and then it's being accepted at different rates based on approximately your age. And of course, there are exceptions to the rule in both directions, but in a general sense, it's being used for different things based on your age. And I'm just going to talk about it a little bit today. Okay, if you are, I'm not going to say old person, but if you are 40 plus, so you're in my age bracket, you're 40 plus, I'll take 40 plus. And you are, if you're using AI, you're likely using AI as a replacement for Google. You think of artificial intelligence as the LLM models. You think about it as either ChatGPT or Anthropic or Perplexity or one of the large language models, and you're trying to do everything with artificial intelligence to essentially replace Google. So you go and you get a better answer than if you were to type it in your question or your query into Google. You're getting a better response with artificial intelligence. And that is likely how you think about it and likely how you use it. It's a little akin to when the iPhone came out, that you use the iPhone just to make phone calls and maybe to send texts, but you didn't really understand the full implication of what the iPhone would be. And it took older people with the iPhone a number of years, 3-4 years, until they really began to understand the apps and they began to understand the operating system and how they could really use iPhone in so many different aspects of their life. And I want you to think about that and think about artificial intelligence as doing the same thing. So old people, basically, not old, 40 plus, I shouldn't call myself old, but basically mentally and physically, they're using it as a replacement for Google. And then you have that mid-age where you have the people in their 20s, in their 30s are really using the artificial intelligence as a life coach. What they're doing with the advances in memory that have come out in the last couple months, what they're really using it for is life advice. So when they're trying to figure out what they should do with their life, they're using artificial intelligence to help them direct their life. And it's not just as simple as they are that they're just asking the AI model what they should do. What they're doing is they're in the 20s and 30s, they're creating these databases of the important people in their lives. And some of them are doing it through recording. Some of them are doing their own transcripts and just, talking about, but let's say they're making an app that is their mother, and they're making an app that is their father, and they're making an app that is their priest, and they're making an app that is their best friend, and they're making an app that is their child, and they're making all these apps and tailoring so that the AI understands those individual people. And then when they go, and then so they have their individual people in their life, and then they integrate like a therapist into that group, and they're asking advice of the artificial intelligence of okay, what job should I take? What What should I do in a relationship situation? How should I raise my children? And it's using all the information about the individuals in their lives and combining it with professional people in fields and getting life advice. And I thought that was really cool and a good way to think about it if you're one of those older people in the room of they're getting the advice of all the people they know, like, and respect at the same time to help them make these life decisions. And it's a good example, I think, of where artificial is intelligence is going to go. Sometimes I think we like to think of AI as just some robot with a bunch of ones and zeros. And it's developing into something more to that. It's developing into characters, but those characters are going to be very individualized to you. And I think that that's maybe some of the misconception that people have about artificial intelligence. AI is going to just give you another glimpse into your own world. It's not going to make up a different world for you. And what the 20 somethings and 30 somethings are doing is a good example of that. So, life coach is what most 20 to 30-year-olds are doing using artificial intelligence. Now, college kids and those those rascally college kids, they're using AI as an operating system. And if we want to kind of use the iPhone analogy, it's the youngest who are going to understand the technology the quickest, and then that is going to matriculate down to the older generations or up to the older generations, if you will. And they're using it as an operating system where they control all the pieces of their lives. And so use the examples of integration into their emails, integration into when they're taking pictures in life, and they're using the apps associated with artificial intelligence and ChatGPT. They're using those apps to really run their life in a more efficient manner. So, like, they're really tying their finances and getting financial advice. They're in college, so they're using it a lot in to replace education. I think that education, I talked about it last week, but there's a real pressure on education. I think artificial intelligence earlier and sooner than we think will take over the education field. Something that my wife and I have already talked about this summer. We're going to integrate artificial intelligence into our kids' daily lives where they have to go get educated with artificial intelligence at least 1 hour a day, where they're going to learn what they're going to be taught next year in school. And this will be our attempt to get them ahead, get them a bump up, make those homework assignments and make those tests a little bit easier. So we're really excited to do that. So operating systems is where artificial intelligence really can be most beneficial to you. And if you can start to use the apps inside AI, and you can start to connect all the pieces to your life, like your business, your finances in your business, your marketing in your business, it can really begin to be used as an operating system. And I would encourage you to start thinking about it that way. All right, that's it. 8 minutes is what we go for. We're at 8.5. I appreciate everybody listening to me on AI Fridays. I'm just fascinated with AI, and I am taking up the challenge of on my schedule every day, 1 hour per day minimum, to just shut the doors to the outside world and just tinker around with artificial intelligence and try to get it so that I can get my business into an operating system that is artificial intelligence. All right, that's it. I will see everybody on Monday. I hope you have a good one.